It's the Emperor coming at you live, folks, on very early Wednesday morning, February 24th, 2021. And let me tell you something, folks. I'm feeling very sad. I'm feeling very sad because 55's ride is gone. The 1996 Saturn, which was in our family since my parents bought it in 1996 in Linwood, Washington. It lasted for 25 years, and it could have lasted for another at least 10 years. It only had 168,500 miles on it. But there was so much front end work that needed to be done. You know, with the CV joints or CB. I'm not a gearhead. CV joints, tie rods, alignment. It needed 4 new tires. The heater didn't work. The frost didn't work. The freaking air conditioner didn't work. Even the stereo didn't work. So many things, but you know what? It doesn't matter because it was a round the town kind of car. Okay, it wasn't like you're going on road trips. This was just like you're going 3 miles to the store, you're going here, you're going there, especially during pandemic times. And everything was going pretty smooth, folks. I kept up with the oil changes. I kept up with everything. And then starting in, I would say, sometime in January, maybe mid-January. See, because the car was an automatic, right? But I grew up driving a stick shift. My first car was a 1991 Honda Civic hatchback, which I bought brand new from money that I earned throughout my entire life. Up until that point, I bought it for $8,500, brand new in 1991. When I graduated from Hilton Head High School in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina in 1991, I was 18 years old. Yeah, I think my parents might have chipped in a couple thousand, okay? Maybe I paid a 6,000, whatever, 6,000. It was 8,500. It was back when new cars were cheap. This was a 4-speed manual on the floor. Okay, so this is but I had already learned how to drive a stick because one of my brothers had a Ford Escort, which was a stick, and he taught me how to drive a stick. I picked it up very quick. Went to some big parking lot somewhere, and I learned how to drive it in freaking, literally 10 minutes. I mean, just came natural. So the bottom line is this: this car, my '96 Saturn, was the BERGS mobile since I moved back in 2008 when I got divorced or separated, and that was my main BERG mobile for 13 years. Okay, so it was very sad, actually. I didn't want to let it go. because I knew it has a good engine. Everything was still solid, but there was so much that was wrong with it. I mean, starting in January, mid-January, for whatever reason, okay, because ever since, you grow up driving a stick shift, even when you park an automatic, it's just habit by rote. You park, you put it in park, and you pull up the stick just like you would normally do when you're parking a manual transmission car. And in like mid-January or something, the car would usually be parked outside here. As you can see, all the snow's melted, folks. It's all gone. Can you believe that? I actually miss the snow. I really do. I wish we had more of a snowstorm this year. It was only like 3 days. For whatever reason, in like mid-January, okay, I went into the car, started it up, put down the emergency brake. It's on the middle console between the two seats. You press the button, you put it down to the ground, and then on the dashboard light, it said, like the brake light is on. It was all in red. I was like, what? What are you talking about? No, it's not. And, I had a lot of problems with the car in the last maybe 10 years. The engine light would go on, and then it would go off, then it would go on. So I figured it was just like some kind of electrical thing. So I didn't know what was going on. So I just kind of wrote it out, because I'm not like a reactionary person. Oh my God, the light's on. I got to call the mechanic. I mean, because I know it's an old car, Bottom line is this. And then after like, I don't know, a week, I started to drive it. And then as soon as I would go like 20 miles an hour, the steering wheel would start to shake back and forth, like you're driving over a bunch of boulders or something. It was crazy. And for whatever reason, I mean, maybe at that point I should have said, you know what? I'm going to take it in. But you know what? My parents already have a Honda Accord, and they had a backup car, the 2003 Saturn, which I already made a video on, which I bought off them. Okay, yeah, at a discount rate, yes. Okay. The bottom line is this. So I wasn't really too anxious to throw money into a 1996 car, but it was really, it still could go for a long time. But for whatever reason, I just kept on riding it. And I never thought, I thought I could ride and die that thing for another couple of years. And the shaking got worse and worse and worse. I cannot believe I dealt with that for 2 months. I mean, I could not go more than 30, 35 miles an hour. Just, I mean, it was insane. I can't believe I never got pulled over. I don't know what I looked like from behind. If I was like I don't know what was going on. So people say, oh, it was the CV joints, tie rods, the alignment. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. I don't know, man. But you know what? I do know this. You bring it to the mechanic, okay, and they're going to want and all four tires it would have been probably $1,000. And the car, you put $1,000 into it, and you want to sell it, you're probably only going to get $1,000. So I basically drove it until and then, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, it was parked here in the garage. And I came out to go to the store. I was like, what's going on with this car here? And the right front, the right front tire was totally deflated, which I attribute to that whole shaking of the steering wheel and the alignment probably being off. Okay? And at that point, it was just like the grief period started. Like, what am I going to do? Do I really want to take out money from my bank account, put in $1,000 to fix this up, when my parents have a backup car here, which is a 2003 Saturn with only 118,000 miles on it, which is the body is clean, is fine. Okay, power windows, power everything. Heater works fine. Air conditioner, CD player, everything works fine. The speakers, it has a car alarm. It's a smooth ride. But I wasn't thinking of that because I had a connection to that 96 Saturn. That was my baby. So then I started calling around or looking out, put some feelers out to some of the, a couple auto mechanics we know, a couple junkyards. And basically they were saying nobody, maybe they were, full of it. And you can look on my community page, folks, because I was sleeping when they came and took it off this morning, the 96 Saturn. I said goodbye to it last night, and I was emotional. I'll be honest with you, folks. I cried. Yes, I did. I cried because I've been through a lot with that car. That car my mom drove it. My mom was a school teacher for years. The car's been passed around through the family so much, and it could have lasted a lot longer. It's just a shame because I don't want to throw $1,000 into it. Okay, because I have the money, but I don't have the money. Because because I got a backup car here. But I was thinking, what, the body looks good. Go look on my community page. And it's just like, what? I was reluctant, but we finally calling around, and the bottom line is this, they're saying nobody really wants Saturns. They're plastic. Made of plastic. There's a lot of plastic, but there's a lot of metal too. Come on, it's not just all plastic. They were saying, it's basically worthless, which I don't really believe, because I don't really believe anybody, especially like used car salesmen like G and other people and just everybody. I think everyone's out to make a buck, which is fine. It's the American way. But the bottom line is this. It would have cost me like $1,000 at minimum, probably just to get it, probably $1,000 to get it back where I could drive it. But then if I went to go sell it, I might be able to get $1,000. It's a total wash. So unfortunately, the car's gone. They came and picked it up. It was free towing. because I was gonna drive it to a junkyard. A couple people told me, okay, you can drive it to a junkyard. They'll at least give you $100. But you have to understand this car, because of the front end, and it was the steering wheel shaking and all this stuff. I live in a town which is kind of like in a valley, okay? So the surrounding towns, I need to go up hills. And in order to get to this particular junkyard, I need to go up a pretty big steep hill and go down. I'm not gonna risk my life in basically an unsafe automobile for what? Just to get what, $50, $100? So, and I don't even know, because I didn't, I wasn't involved in all that, because I was still in a state of denial. I didn't want to give her up. She was 25 years old this year, and I thought she had another 5, maybe 10 years left in her. So the bottom line is this: the BERGS 1996 Saturn is gone. Rest in peace. Who knows what they're going to do with it? They said they're going to smelt it or whatever, compact it. I don't think they would, because the body is still good, and there's a lot of parts on there. They could probably part that out, okay? So a lot of people who bought Saturns. Saturn might not be still in business, but let me tell you something. A Saturn was a good automobile. That Saturn lasted us 25 years, and it had low mileage, but I don't know if I did anything wrong. I don't know, because I always kept the oil, levels, it's just wear and tear, and you have a catastrophic thing, a front end thing, and I'm not going to throw $1,000 into it when we have a backup vehicle here, which is a 2003, which I'm driving now, which you can see a video of it. It's got an alarm system. It's got a great stereo system, CD players, all power, windows and all that. Everything on the 96, all stereo. It was a tape deck, and it didn't even work. The heater didn't work. The air conditioner didn't work. During the summertime, it gets in the 90s here. I lasted the last two, because the last about 2 years ago is when the air conditioner finally went out on it. Oh, add some Freon. Yeah, I did all that. It just didn't work. It was just shot, So I went the last 2 summers. Why do you think the BERGS gives himself a BERGS? But I'll still be giving myself a BERGS summer haircut, but the BERGS buzz cut. Bottom line is this: I thought this was going to last for longer, but you know what? It is what it is. I spent some time last night here in the garage. I said goodbye to my baby. Okay? I said goodbye. I shed a tear or two. Yeah, I did. I've been through a lot with that car. And to see it, go to my community page, and see it getting driven away. I was still sleeping, because I have different hours than most people. Okay, and you know what? But you know what? The bottom line is this: it would have cost me like at least $1,000, and then what? Okay, I probably could have gotten several more years out of it, but you know what? Then we have another car here. So it's just, you know what? It was just time to get rid of it. So it's kind of a shame, and I don't know what the person's gonna do who got it, but I'm sure they could fix it up and keep it going. With that being said, BERGS out.